Hey guys, and happy Tuesday. We're going to give you a little inside look at what we can expect tropic-wise, not only here closer to the Caribbean and the Gulf, but also we're going to be talking about Hurricane Florence and a few other systems that are out there. So right now, we're going to take a look at Invest 95L over in the Caribbean heading into the Gulf. They've given it, as of today, a 50% chance of development in the next 48 hours, a 70% chance of development in the next 5 days, and models are suggesting that it may stay a tropical wave, tropical depression, and move on into Texas there. So not necessarily a big threat to us right now in Louisiana, but this is our infrared imagery of that cluster of thunderstorms they're watching their portions of Cuba, seeing some heavy rain right now as it moves into the Gulf. Then we're going to go over and look at Hurricane Florence, a well-developed system. They developed a new eye wall overnight into today, strengthening the storm, so they're going to be watching that one very closely. Right now you can see that here. Our satellite imagery, Hurricane Florence has sustained winds of 130 miles per hour and is moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. So this is the track Florence is expected to take right into the Carolinas. Now they have made it making landfall as a Category 3. That's good for them. But notice as you move into the coast, those bars are really close together there from Friday, Saturday to Sunday. That's because they're not expecting it to move very far. They're expecting it to kind of stall out and sit there. So I'm going to show you a few models here that are kind of in agreement. Most of them are suggesting it'll make landfall anywhere between the North and South Carolina border all the way up to the Outer Banks. So they've kind of gone right in the middle of that, kind of by Jacksonville right about now, as it moves into late Thursday night into early Friday morning. So this is our European model. So you can see it, the eye getting very close to the Carolinas there. This is Friday at 3:30 in the morning, and it starts to sit there. It's still sitting there by Saturday morning at 5 a.m. It doesn't move much. The European model suggesting that it kind of stays there, moves out to shore, and then makes landfall again later on back in the South Carolina-Georgia border and bringing a lot of heavy rainfall. So European model in terms of rainfall, so this is Friday, 1:30 p.m. You see those colors of yellow along the Carolina coastline suggesting 5+ inches of rainfall. It sits there for a while, those numbers grow, and then again it has it moving into South Carolina and portions of Georgia. So of course the Carolina coast and the South Carolina coast, they're under a storm surge watch right now. Still a few days out, they'll probably change that to a storm surge warning. And here's our storm surge potential map that we're seeing here, dealing with a lot of that. They're dealing with, some locations could see higher than 9 foot above ground, 9 feet of sea level or of seawater moving on in there between the waves, moving into the creeks, moving into the rivers, and just piling up there. That's why you see those colors of reds closer to Greenville and such, because the water's just moving on in and will move over those barrier islands of Nags Head, Hatteras, Morehead City. So they're watching that very closely as well. So in terms of windfall, or wind strength I should say, chance of tropical storm force winds, the Carolinas have again that 100% chance they're going to see it, and you go further and Raleigh still has between a 70 and 80% chance to see those winds. So it's not just the coast that'll feel the effects of this hurricane. It's also going to be inland in portions of South Carolina, also into portions of central Virginia, the Virginia coast, and even into northern Virginia. But we're also watching Tropical Storm Isaac further on down in the Atlantic, moving closer to the Lesser Antilles there by Thursday morning as a tropical storm, they're suggesting, and then it'll move into the Caribbean. Once it moves into the Caribbean, we're going to be keeping a close eye on it here just to see what it does, if it starts to kind of die down and diminish, or if it stays a tropical storm. And then we also have Hurricane Helene, who's off in the Atlantic. Fish storm, not affecting us here anywhere in the U.S. mainland, but has sustained winds of 110 miles per hour right now, a Category 2 storm. So that's really a look at your tropical update. We'll have more coming up in a few hours throughout the day as we get more updates in around 4 p.m. and then again at 10 p.m. But for now, have a good Tuesday.